success? Is it just the fact that they actually feel like a put-together team that's played for seasons, or is there something else, do you feel, that's made them look so strong?
I feel like the reason why they're so strong is because they have someone who has a lot of experience when it comes to the global stage or the local stage. So if we're going to be taking a look at it, Lip is actually leading, actually Lip is not the captain, but somehow leads the charge given the fact that he has been, getting some achievements way back then. Together with Garam as well. Garam has been competing for quite some time. Same thing with Divo, who is actually their substitute player. So the amount of knowledge that these members could actually give into their teammates, who's actually, kind of new at the same time, it's just easier to adapt because there is mentorship, there is leadership that is happening between their team.
Okay, so preliminary picks. We are seeing some pretty standard picks across the board here. So we've got Mewtwo Y here for Dylan, for Talon, whereas for Looking for Sponsor, they've picked up their support and defender duo. So they're going to have the resets with the Hooper, and they have the Blastoise to work with, giving away Umbreon. This Umbreon, this is a Pokemon that we have seen Talon play time and time again. Very, very popular pick for them, so not surprised that that's going to be swiped up. Aegis Slash, though, is going to be able to sneak on through. Lance will grab that up for the team. They might swap it out a little bit later on because we have seen some swapperoos. And Urshifu is going to be the choice here for PIS. Is Miraidon really going to be the attacker? And we finally have Miraidon. Is this our first Miraidon today?
Yeah, it is our first Miraidon. So
this is so shocking because Miraidon appeared constantly last week for APAC West.
Yeah, I mean, not just in APAC West, but for the whole duration of Southeast Asia League, Miraidon is the primary attacker of every single team who competed out there. And knowing that Miraidon is one of the best attackers yet again in the game, it's really...
No, that's such a fast Charizard. Like, they knew.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited on what's about to unfold as of the moment. But it's not going to be Piss. Rather, it's still going to be Lip, who's actually going to get the Charizard as of the moment. So, wow, this is looking great. Once again, for Looking for Sponsors, they are on their the picks that they actually want to make it work.
I love Talon, but I'm such a big fangirl of Looking for Sponsors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, mainly because of the Charizard, because this is such an outlandish pick that is almost never picked. And one of the reasons why it's never picked is because there's generally other all-rounders that do what Charizard do better. But I feel like Looking for Sponsor, they have found a really nice niche, especially for Lip. The way that he pilots this Charizard, he's always going to be there to do consistent damage. His positioning is always great. He's really great at choosing Seismic Slam targets. Like, Talon, I don't know anybody that would practice to play against a Charizard, so I hope Talon is ready to deal with this, because sometimes having these X-Factor picks, when you're playing up against a Pokemon that you're not well practiced against, sometimes that's enough to throw you off your game.
Yeah, like they seem like a dark horse of a tournament, but instead of being the team itself, the Pokemon is the actual ones who's going to be giving you a hard time. So this is going to determine if Talon, their greatness, can they make it that far by, not encountering Charizard as of the moment for the whole duration of Southeast Asia League? Can they prove that they are a formidable team by taking down Looking for Sponsor, utilizing this Charizard, which is the comfort of the team?
I think it's really going to come down to lanes, right? Who gets that early game lane dominance and then just runs away with it? Because I could see both teams doing that themselves. It's going to come down to rotations, what Pokemon get knocked out, and really just execution overall from both of these teams. And at the moment, I'm not really seeing a clear winner. Like, everyone's okay, unless Dylan gets knocked out here, which would be huge. But they don't have the burst damage, so the Citrus Berry is going to be there to heal him back up. But dang, Looking for Sponsor, they're holding their own against Talon. And I think this is the only team today that's been able to withstand the aggressive laning style that Talon has.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and they are punishing Talon as of the moment, not letting them get that Swallows and Altaris the way they wanted it to. But nice mean look for Piss, being able to take it down into the process, but not gonna make it all the time. in the
Look
hyperspace
how
hold.
low! They're so low! I can't believe everyone on Talon survived, excluding the Cerule Edge there who was picked up by Kobe.
Yeah.
But Talon, the juggling at that choke point was beautiful. Like this is one of the main reasons why people think Talon are maybe the favorites to just win this whole thing. They really know how to play to the maximum potential of their Pokemon. Now, they do have a very low Doublade, so I'd be a little bit careful if I was Lance, especially up against that Charmeleon. But aside from what's happened in the top lane, bottom lane is just kind of slowed down, but we do get another knockout. This time it's going to be onto Lip, so big knockout there for Talon to slow down the progress of that Charmeleon.
And yep, they wanted that so quick, and they made it to conversion. So right now, Talon still in the deficit in terms of experience, but it's looking good for looking for sponsors, especially that 30 seconds. There would be the major objectives that they really want to secure. So, you know, make sure to get your Unite moves as quick as you can, and, you know, get into your final evolutions in order for your movesets to be complete and sealed. But RBX with a heavy slam, not going to be quite successful, but Piss backs off immediately, despite knowing that there's actually all of the members of Talon in top half.
Yeah, so priorities seem to be a little bit different here for both of these teams. Down bottom though, we've got Miraidon and Snorlax battling for a Regirock, but up top we have the rest of these teams up here. Actually, Talon pivoting most of them down bottom instead.
Lance.
Just wanting to give away this Regieleki to looking for sponsor, which it's going to help them push and maybe even break that goal zone, but I suppose for Talon, they really want to have access to that extra experience and that defense buff. Maybe that's what they feel like they need. They do still have the Miraidon there, who could go for the steal, but not successful, as it looks like Mewtwo. I think it was Dylan on that Mewtwo as well. He gets that, and they also get the knockout onto Miraidon. So double whammy, big victory there for Talon to be able to get not just a big knockout, but also to make sure that the Reggie doesn't go to looking for sponsor.
Yeah, and that is actually an overcap as well in the hands of looking for sponsors. So they were able to do a little bit of a handshake. They take down gold zones, and Talon takes down, you know, the Regirock, additional buff for their team, but they're not going to be overcapping bottom path. They want to make sure that they secure it as quick as they can. And right now, it's looking good for them. They managed to equalize things in terms of levels, and it's looking good for Talon as of the moment.
It's looking good for Talon, but I mean, looking for sponsors also hanging on quite well. Just looking at the levels, it's actually in favor of looking for sponsor. All their core Pokemon are on point. They are where they want to be. They have their Unites. Yeah, their supports might not have the Unites, but I think at this point, for looking for sponsor, you want to have access to your aggressive Unite so you can start getting those crucial knockouts. And as for Talon, they're kind of hanging on here. Because unfortunately for them, I kind of feel like the damage advantage is in favor of looking for sponsor with the Pokemon that they're running. And look at that great scouting there with the Charizard Lip, just using the long-range flamethrower to be able to scout out bushes. This is the one thing that makes Charizard super annoying sometimes. The fact that he can scout bushes with both Fire Blast and Flamethrower.
Yeah, and that is actually a big challenge, especially for Talon, knowing that they don't have an access to Hoopa, so they can't go back into the Pokemon Center immediately the way they wanted it to. So their HP is just gonna, you know, is just going to be shredded down immediately.
RBX.
But Electro Drift for the Miraidon. RBX in a little bit of trouble here, but he's just pushing everyone back with the block, and he has to back away. Immediately, Hydro Typhoon has landed immediately. Revenant Red, in order to avoid being knocked out. Talon running away from looking for sponsors, but the Seismic Slam was already popped off. But where is the conversion for looking for sponsors? We cannot see it quite yet. Lance will do the setup coming in from their team. But there goes the coup de grace in order to get the last hits, and they get 3 KOs out of that team fight, and still they get the Regis for their team. Talon being patient in order to take objectives and take down the Pokemons of looking for sponsor.
That was such an amazing play from Aegislash. If I could, I would have said they got lanced, because that's what happened with the coup de grace. 2 for 1 with the Unite move. Brilliant stuff from Talon. So definitely showing signs of life, especially when it looked pretty dire in some of these positions here for looking. Dire position here for Talon. So this game could definitely swing either way. The point difference is only telling you half the story. The way that these fights are really unfolding tell a better picture as to where these teams currently are in terms of their level, their progress, and how strong that they're feeling. We're getting a big push in this bottom lane here, and with the help of the Snorlax, they're going to be able to use that block to buy time. But the rest of Talon, they've got 2 Pokemon more focused in that top lane. Lip, thankfully, will be able to port out with that portal and actually is going to just abandon and instead wants to go top lane instead. Still having the skirmish in the bottom lane. They're just going to give away that Hooper, but the rest of the team will be gone. And Talon, they do win that little fight in the bottom lane, but I think for looking for sponsor, they're just testing the waters to see what they can and can't do now.
Yeah, and that was actually a smart decision for Talon as well. They got a KO, additional XP, and Lance was able to convert 50 points all the way into top half, making them on the lead so far in terms of the pointing system. But right now, what they have to do is get those Unite Charge back up, in which they already have it. So right now, as of the moment, last 30 seconds, I do believe that there is no team fight that's about to happen. They want to make sure that they are positioned already. They want to make sure that they are positioned already, right? But objective at the bottom path, they're still gonna check it in. But look at that Umbreon, still ready to keep an eye.
It's just a Reg Ice, unfortunately, so no attack or defense buffs. That's actually a bit of a bummer there for Talon. They would have really appreciated it. That was actually going to give them some kind of combat advantage. But great block coming in. But hang on a minute though, Umbreon has jumped into the battle and straight away, right on top of looking for sponsor. Miraidon is gone for 17 seconds. The team is now reeling, but the Hooper is gone. Even up to the Unite, they catch another one. Looking for sponsor. Has been picked apart by Talon, who didn't even get a attack or defense buff. It was just a perfect connections, perfect communication, and outstanding execution of their lineup. Talon proving to us why they are considered the favorites to win the tournament today.
I was actually speechless. Looking for sponsor took the bait. Junior absent led everyone into their teammates, and they have everything prepared. The heavy slam connected, the damage connected, Revenant Red, and everything else from Talon. They just deployed it, and looking for sponsor did not have an opportunity to use the Hydro Typhoon and the Bright Future Meteor Sword from the Miraidon. And they got Rayquaza as well, making sure that they take game number 1 up against looking for sponsors.
Oh, what a game though. Like, even though things did get a little bit slow, a little stagnant during the mid-game, like you could see how well thought out both of these teams are with some of the decision making and, you know, some of the things that they wanted to do. Looking for sponsor has definitely been the most formidable opponent for Talon today. And the chance of us going to a game 3 for this series, very, very possible. Is it going to be like, I want to say 60% chance? I don't want to say it's like a 50-50 because I do think Talon need to be given the respect that they deserve. They are an amazing team. There's a reason why they're picked up and kept by this org since last year. But looking for sponsor, this is like a great underdog to watch. Really keen to see if we can get a game 3.
I'm really excited on what's about to unfold on the next game. But for now, Talon one step ahead to secure that grand final slot. They have that kind of advantage. They have the momentum already. But looking for a sponsor, they are not losing their momentum, their composure. They were able to go head to head up against Talon. And it was just a battle of Rayquaza that happened into this game. And, you know, everything boiled down in favor of Talon. So looking for sponsors right now. They have a great lineup, but I'm quite concerned by Lip a while ago. Actually used that Seismic Slam way too early than I expect it would be, because when you use Seismic Slam, you want to make sure that you use it at a crucial moment. But that wasn't the case actually that happened. Like,
because I think we're looking for sponsor. The Charizard pick definitely surprised in their previous matchup, because let's be real, who expects Charizard? Nobody.
Yeah, right?
But now that they've shown their card in that previous matchup, Talon already knew about it, and they already saw how Lip plays it, right? So I think they also adjusted how they played to accommodate this Charizard pick that came out from Lip. So now the question is, does looking for sponsor have anything new up their sleeve to maybe try to surprise Talon? Because they have the advantage of being an underdog with relatively, like, almost nothing on the internet about them. So if you can try and find this information, or if they have anything that has not been done yet, you probably want to do it now to guarantee that grand final spot.
Oh wow. Umbreon was actually banned by looking for sponsor. I just noticed it as of the moment.
I agree. I think I agree with this ban, and also
Yeah,
to deny the Psyduck pick was great. So Junior Absent has to play something a little different, or RBX.
Right?
But what's going to be their choice? Now, they did deny the Miraidon, right? So Miraidon's not going to be there for Komi anymore, and they also have Lance on the Serena. So 2 strong picks for Talon. What is looking for sponsor looking to take themselves? They steal with the H's slash. Lots of theft happening in this matchup. But Eldegoss is going to be the choice of support here for looking for sponsor, which I'm okay with. It's not the best healing support, but what it does do is it massively increases your offensive power in lane. And I wonder if the play here for looking for sponsor is to go ham in these lanes. Pick those early game Pokemon and just run over Talon before they have a chance to come online.
All phase from Talon Junior Absent. I mean, I do get it. Like, they have been using this since they were on Elevate, right? But here's the thing. They use Coffee only to the moment that they have a Zoroark, and they don't have it yet. So this might be a possible Junior Absent Lance combo on top path. That's what I'm seeing so far, and definitely this would give Lance a boost of confidence to go into fights, engage some team fights as well, and get that early advantage towards their team. But the big question is, can they make it sustainable as much as they can, right?
I mean, to be fair, Sync 1 can also benefit from Junior Absent, right? So you've got 2 Pokemon that kind of want to have that Comfey on them. It just sort of depends on the situation. Who is it better to be on? Now, I wholeheartedly agree Lance is probably going to be the main choice here because Serena just sort of wants to, you know, live forever and dance forever in these battles. But I feel like there are going to be some circumstances where maybe you kind of want to keep that Ceruledge in the battle for a little bit longer because Lance, in a lot of cases, I think he can self-sustain. I kind of don't think he needs to come in some fights. But looking for sponsor, okay. Massive changes. The attacker is going to be Inteleon for Komi. So laning stage, not going to be too bad. They have Secure. They will definitely find farm on this Pokemon. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about sometimes with Inteleon is that if you really bully an Inteleon's lane, you can definitely zone this Pokemon out and delay. So if they can somehow stabilize Komi's lane and also make sure they stabilize that top lane, I think looking for sponsor could really press the issue with what looks to be really aggressive lanes. Because I'm looking at, like, as soon as I see Eldegoss, I instantly know that a team is trying to reinforce their lanes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. But here's the thing. Talon, they have a Ceruledge. That could actually be the Pokemon when it comes to the winning case of that Inteleon. Inteleon usually wants a greater distance from your opponent. So definitely this Ceruledge will try to advance as much as he can in order to take down the primary attacker of looking for sponsor. So if that is going to be successful, definitely Talon could win every single team fight. But right now, that's also the same case for Talon. If they take down, or rather for looking for sponsor, if they take down the Miraidon, their chances are so high because your opposing team will be forced down to go for the close combat. Close combats for looking for sponsors, taking down the primary laners here at top path.
Yeah, Mimikyu exerting his dominance as well in that top lane, getting rid of both top laners. That is pretty big as well, because that's also slowing down the progress of that Sarita. Dylan reveals himself to this Mimikyu, and we still have 3 Pokemon here for looking for sponsor. Psyduck finally comes in, so maybe things turn around as they try to jump onto that Doublade, but this might come at the cost of 2 Pokemon! Talon! And with the assistance of that Psyduck, they were thinking of going after the Miraidon, but thankfully Miraidon had an escape plan. But Talon, they came at a pretty expensive cost for that battle.
Wow, expensive.
Oh, that's big.
Me. A big KO. Actually, yes, it does seem a little bit of a thing only, but that's actually big. And that will lead the charge for Kumi to get even further. taking down the Miraidon in the process as well. This is going to be big for looking for a sponsor.
The fact that Komi got the knockout beforehand and he assisted in the Miraidon knockout, he's level 6, he's getting very close to hitting that Inteleon. As soon as he has Snipe Shot, I am looking for sponsor to pop off. They need to rebrand to looking for pop off because they need to go. As soon as they can absolutely dominate Talon, they can run away with the game. They have to force that game 3 because they can't afford to lose it now. And look, we've got Inteleon. Komi is there. His basic attacks hit like an absolute truck. He's got Real with him, but unfortunately there are just far too many Pokemon. Oh, very close. They almost managed to get the Comfey, but the attach is there, so no knockout yet, but Psyduck will go down. Mimikyu is here as well, so they do have a bit of a frontliner there to protect Komi if necessary, and those Snipe Shots are coming out. So if you're Talon, I hope you're ready to dance, because if you don't dance, you're going to the Pokemon Center.
Oh yeah, and right now this is going to be another dance for the Regis. Both teams are eyeing on the prize, and that is actually a phenomenal grassy slide from Lance, making sure that they do get the KO for that side out for a decrease in terms of crowd control. But actually a lot of people are ignoring Kumi in the process, but right now that Regis would land in the hands of Talon, and they do get a KO along the process, which is the Eldegoss. So right now, Talon, no need to overextend. They got the Regis already. Just go back, go into your forest, and make sure to get all of the resources.
Oh boy, this game is getting very intense. Aegis Slash going to quickly run up top lane to just capitalize on the Regieleki buff. Manages to score 32 points, I think, just then. So going to be able to help him grab some of that free experience. But looking for sponsor, looking really strong right now. And they're still hanging around. They're sharking that bottom lane, waiting to see if they can snare anyone in their trap. Now, we do have RBX here as well as Sync 1. So they are trying to watch each other, but they are very, very susceptible to being knocked out. But thankfully, for looking for sponsor, they have backed on out. They're going to focus on wild Pokemon. They say, let's try and continue to push our lead. Let's try and keep our experience ahead, because if we can keep our experience ahead, then we're going to be able to do a lot more with those resources. As RBX, he did so forward, taking a little bit of damage. Big Snipe Shots, though, coming out from that Inteleon. Komi really flexing those shots.
That's a lot of damage that you have to be very careful. RBX doesn't have the access to Hydro Typhoon yet, so this is actually going to be very huge opportunity for looking for sponsor for them to engage into a team fight. But RBX is super low as of the moment, but the full power side will be there. But same thing, building a night move up the Coffee in order to increase the speed coming in from their team. But on the other hand, Play With Me will support as well. Please send it forward.
They're so low
for their team. Everyone is so low. Time in order to attack back immediately. And look at the sustain that Lance has to offer, and they were actually successful in engaging the fight, but it's not quite over yet. Leap wants to trade for their team. Everyone is ignoring Garam on the other hand, and Lance saw that opportunity to get the prioritization for the team. What a game! What a fight for Talon! And they are eyeing on the prize on the Registeel, but where is the Snipe Shot? We cannot see it yet, and that is going to be Talon's Registeel.
The bait from Talon was brilliant. They baited looking for sponsor into thinking they were going to get some easy knockouts. And look at this now. They're running over looking for sponsor. Talon finally wrestling back control of this game. They got rid of the Inteleon. They did lose the Ceruledge though. They do have the buff, but they still have to be careful. You cannot give away too much experience to your enemies. And they send back the Miraidon, as well as Ceruledge respawning as well. But Talon, they're still hanging on in this game. They have the experience lead. They just got to sort out the point problem now.
Just have to sort things out very quickly up until this point. But Talon is, looking very disciplined as of the moment. But they have to convert some scores here, because looking for sponsors, they have a lot of advantage when it comes to score. But at the same time, they could actually make use of advantage of it later on at the final stretch. But right now, RBX with a Hydro Typhoon eject combo once again. They're gonna be the Revenant Red coming in from Talon, making sure the 3 members will fall down immediately. And that is a lot of scores falling down in their favor. Coup de Grace will be there. Same thing with
my gosh.
Bishop. Komi dealing a lot of damage, but not going to be quite enough for them to take out a knockout. And everyone is still up here for Talon. Miraidon taken down into the process. immediately right after that, and Lance has nowhere to go. Big knockout rather. We're looking for sponsor, being able for them to bounce back in terms of XP.
Oh, this is so tense. My heart is racing. But you know, the sad part out of all of that, even though Talon managed to win that fight in the bottom lane, they're not able to break the goal zone. And it makes me wonder, do they now maybe even consider leaving this up and saying, you guys now have to deal with 2 tier 1 goal zones. We can score in these at any point of time. The level advantage is in our favor. Maybe Talon is just preparing for this late game and really just making it absolute hell for looking for sponsor to defend. Look up top, we're going to be seeing a massive score there. I think it's a 50-pointer coming through. We've got another 40 points coming through. So there's the 50. There's another 40. And Talon, they're slowly creeping back. They still don't have enough points to overtake yet, but with Rayquaza coming up, this might just be the game-defining moment.
Oh wow, Regieleki making the goal zone defenseless in top path. But looking for sponsors, that's actually starting strong as of the moment, yet Surf able to, dismantle the position of the Aegis Slash. But look at the HP of Rayquaza, it's just falling down one by one. But where are the other members of Talon? They might go for...
Oh, they found the Mimic here!
Oh, look at that! Look at that fighter going all the way inside into the fight. Zer's Fire Vision was pop up as well. Hydro Typhoon, not so much value for RPX as of the moment. Play with me in order to steal RPX as of the moment. 2 members were taken down by Talon. Looking for sponsor, still eyeing on the plan. The Rhydon is still up. That Coffee cannot find someone. Junior Absent taken down into the process as well. It's just the Rhydon. Can he take down the Rayquaza? But his HP is just gonna go down! And no one's left! Looking for sponsor takes out Talon in game number 2.
Looking for sponsor is looking for game number 3, and it looks like they're going to force that 3rd game. The first team today to best Talon in a single match. This has now come to a match point for both of these teams. We still have 40 seconds to go, but the odds of Talon being able to score enough to secure a 2-0 here are deathly low. I mean, Inteleon has gone for 22 seconds. We've got 24 seconds left there on the Eldegoss as well. If a miracle is going to happen, it's got to happen right now.
And that miracle, sad to say, won't be happening, as that 62 points won't be enough to catch up on that 705 points. And Talon has to respect this team, looking for sponsors, doing a lot of work in order to force things down to game number 3.
I believe they've done it. They've actually beaten Talon in 1 game, and they've got 1 more to go to secure their spot in the grand final. And I think we're all kind of wondering here, what is Talon thinking after all of that? To have had a clean run up until this point, and then for looking for sponsor to best them in the 2nd game of the upper bracket final. They are at risk of being knocked down to the lower bracket if they lose this next game. Same vice versa here for looking for sponsor, but holy moly, this matchup is incredible.
Incredibly great indeed. Talon being pushed into their limits. Junior Absent, the moment that he didn't got the access towards the Umbreon, he was forced to use Coffee, one of his prime picks as well. But looking for sponsor, they have something in response, and that was Komi. Great contribution with the Inteleon.
Masterclass, masterpiece, eye candy. I don't know what we're gonna call this matchup, but we're going to be seeing 2 teams that are playing at 110% because the grand final spot is on the line. If you lose here, you have to play another game to secure your spot in that grand final. And looking at these bans, no Inteleon ban. So Psyduck, Blissey, Metagross, Mewtwo Y. We still have Miraidon, we still have Inteleon, we have Umbreon as that first pick there for Talon. And this is a pick that they have been very, very comfortable with up until this point. So Talon, comfort picks, totally okay with this. But looking for sponsor, how are they looking to open for this game number 3? Do you pick up your support and defender now, or are you going to pick up your core? And Lip is stealing away Miraidon.
Oh wow. I'm not sure if this is going to be great or not.
And they stole Serena as well from
Yeah.
Lance.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually a great thing, but I feel like they're trying to, narrow down the comfort Pokemons here of Talon. But, knowing Lance has a wide Pokemon pool. They could actually go for Lapras if he wants
Wow.
to. Aegislash. A lot of Pokemons are still available. But right now, I'm seeing an initial supporter of an Espeon as of the moment.
So, I'm just trying to see, are we going to be seeing something new? I'm trying to see, does someone change anything? I want to see something new. I want somebody to pop off and just not only surprise us as the viewers, but also surprise their opponents. Like you've got to bring out an ace out of your sleeve right now, because you are at risk of being knocked out and not even making it to the grand final. Sync1 is hovering over Dodrio. We have not seen this Pokemon at all today, and that might end up being his choice. We're going to be seeing the triple-headed bird for our game 3 of this matchup. And Komi's got the last pick here. They've got Miraidon. Is it going to be that Mimikyu pick? They're going for Zacian. They're thinking.
Think very carefully. Oh, they actually got Mimikyu as their last Pokemon, at least for this game. So this is actually really tough right now. No room for mistakes for both of these teams. They don't want to go in the hard way, which is a lower bracket. And from what I'm seeing so far, I feel like Talon doesn't want that game number 2 to happen again. That's why they had an access already towards this Dodrio that could triple trample on a specific location, wherein they could actually have an easy access to take down the attacker, and that's going to be the Miraidon or Komi later on. So I feel like that's actually the main value of this pick coming in from Sync1.
I think another benefit is the lane pressure that you can apply with Dodrio, because I think at the previous matchup, we all know Mimikyu. This Pokemon comes online so quickly and can provide so much assistance in lane. You generally are going to get a knockout or two. Like, it's probably one of the best early game lane support junglers for teams. So how do you match their energy? You've got to pick another central laner that can keep up with Mimikyu, which Dodrio can do. Very fast Pokemon, great mobility, can maybe even hit the lane before the Mimikyu is there. Maybe this is the plan for Talon. They say, you wrecked our lanes in that second game. We're going to get that control back, because that's what we're used to playing.
Oh yeah, and I want to see that control to happen. So either two teams could actually control the pacing of this game, but as of the moment, looking for a sponsor has that momentum. They just won a game towards Talon, and their confidence is really boosted up. But RBX, on the other hand, is in a little bit of trouble here, but XP will be enough to make him live for another day, actually, in the bottom path.
Gotta live. Gotta survive. Both of these teams are in survival mode, okay?
Yeah.
Only one team is going to be able to win. I want to see what the lane priorities are going to be for both teams. Is it still going to be top lane for both teams, or are we going to be seeing a bit of a delta swap where both teams sort of pick one lane and that's going to be it? Lance wins that engagement, getting the first knockout before getting knocked out himself. But down bottom though, we're going to be seeing the Snorlax go down, the Squirtle hanging on. Real one basic attack. It's going to be enough for the Espeon to finish him off, and now Dylan on this Espeon challenging Miraidon, but both players just going to leave it at that, and now we have both central laners in that top lane. Junior absent, he sees that Mimikyu, and look at this, so much respect in that top lane. So much respect.
Yeah, and absolutely a phenomenal need look in order for the chase not to continue up against Talon. So that was actually a phenomenal execution from Junior Absent, making sure that the KOs will be mitigated as much as possible on their side. So Talon, as of the moment, they want to make sure that they get wild Pokemons, they get XPs, avoid being knocked out.
It just goes to show how tense both of these teams feel, because they're not... No one's gone gung-ho mode. Everyone's just sort of staying in their lane, staying in their aisle. Although we are going to be seeing Lip go down, which is a pretty big deal, because Lip has played a very pivotal role in the success of looking for sponsors. So slowing him down is massive, especially with all of the Swablu and Altaria finally coming in. free knockout there onto a level 4 Squirtle, and Sync1 just thinking of looking for more. X-Speed is going to be there to save Garab on that Eldegoss. They do see Lip coming back, who's only level 5 though, so there's only so much you could do. As this poor little Steenie, they tried to jump forward with Sync1, but here comes that Mimikyu coming in, swiping with those Shadow Claws. Nice knock up there from... Yeah, nice knock up there coming out from RBX, but is it going to be enough though? This Mimikyu might be a little bit too much for them to handle. The damage output is incredible coming out from that Mimikyu. Lance though trying to go for a knockout before they are able to get out. He will get it though, but at the cost of his own life. Komi is here, the Rhydon even joining in the fray.
Oh no, Talon overstayed, overextended, and
I think looking for sponsor. Have they maybe overstayed their welcome here, because we've got Snorlax here and Sync1, he is pretty quick himself. I think they get out. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
goodness. It never ends.
Heavy slam, it's gonna land actually, but RBX actually decided to go for the block, so no crowd control that much. It's just hindering your opponents to get in touch. But Electro Drift almost catches the Regieleki, but not gonna be quite enough yet. But Surf from Real would buy some time coming in from Talon. But Talon, on the other hand, wants to push things down this Regieleki, and that Regieleki actually takes down the gold zone here. So Talon needs a rotation, needs something to happen once again. But that bottom lane objective, it's looking good for the sponsor.
I have to say, look at the sponsor. They did a pretty good job hanging on as 4 and letting Lip go for the solo in that bottom lane. So denying the experience away from Talon and also helping to provide some extra experience for his own teammates. So this game is still very much equal. It can go anyone's way. It really is just a case of who's able to catch out who first, and can they finish the fight when they need it to? Because when it comes to a battle of endurance, I'm kind of leaning towards looking for sponsor. They have a lot of defensive stuff, but great start there from the Snorlax. Big dive coming in from Lip in the front lines. They've got the Miraidon coming in with the Unite as well. We still have that Mimikyu already popping the Unite himself too, but we haven't seen any knockouts as of yet, but they're getting very close. Lots of disrupt, preventing Mimikyu from really doing what he wants to do. Piss, stuck in that mean look. It does expire at the perfect moment, but they've lost Lip out of all of that.
Yeah, and that's actually a big hindrance for sponsor in able to dominate this team, but it wasn't for all.
Oh my god,
immediately by the mean look, a phenomenal timing from Junior Absent in order to take down the primary attacker of the team. And right now Talon is going to be charging even further in order for them to score some goals here all the way into bottom path. Heavy slam is going to land. Hydro Typhoon will buy some time, but what a Unite move. Power Nap coming in order to deny that Unite move as well from Real, and he's gonna be buying a lot of time for Talon. Where is the damage?
Is
not making a lot, but the response coming in from the Miraidon once again. Kobe doing things of wonders. Lance is just gonna be going in for the wide guard, but still, it's a lot of kills out of that.
Triple trample as well. Sync1 wants a piece of this action and he's ready to finish it. The nail on the coffin does not get Lip yet, but oh my goodness, Talon surviving the onslaught, coming out from looking for sponsor, getting all of those knockouts, and they're still getting knockout after knockout, getting another knockout onto that Serena. The experience that is being funneled into Talon right now. This might be what Talon is looking for. Just keep winning these fights. Keep forcing, looking for sponsor to fight into you and play desperate, because that's what I'm kind of feeling right now. Komi in the back lines. He was pressuring Sync1. He walks on out. Unite from the Miraidon as well. Doing a great job of zoning, but now it's Sync1's turn to turn around. He gets the knockout. Looking for a sponsor. Is now looking for a Pokemon Center.
Oh yeah, and this is going to be a very beautiful overcap coming in from Talon. Perfectly calculated in order to overtake the lead as of the moment. But right now, they have to rush things down all the way into the forest, get every resources. So looking for sponsors would be in deficit in terms of experience. But right now, Regieleki will be touching down bottom lane as of the moment for Talon. But there's no score conversion out of it yet. And actually, it's really a defense coming here for Talon.
It is a defense. I mean, I'm a little bit worried that Talon is maybe going to box themselves into a position where we've seen this time and time again before, right? You have exposed goal zones, especially tier 1s. when Rayquaza is up, tier 1 goal zones are in a lot of cases really big liabilities. Because you are suddenly opening yourself up to being back-capped. And with the whole double point system, if someone's able to sneak in a 60 to 80 pointer, that can be game winning for the other side. So not only do you have to protect Rayquaza, but you also have to worry about those goal zones. So I love that Talon used the Alecki up top to break the tier 1. They've got to make a decision for that bottom tier 1. Do they give that away to looking for sponsor? Which I don't think that's going to be the case. It looks like they want to keep it. And they're just going to get ready for a Rayquaza fight.
Not quite sure if Sync 1 is trying to go for a sneak attack all the way into the bottom. I'm not quite sure yet. This is actually phenomenal meme look coming in. But RBX, where is the follow-up setup? Bright Future Meteor Storm is going to be invested, but there is actually not enough takedown for their team. But look at this, it is just looking for sponsor. Wants to charge in even further. Queen Senda is actually even there, but Triple Trample will be there as well. And oh my goodness, Talon is still there, being able to take down the last hit, and everyone from looking for sponsor is taken out of the process.
That was such a desperate race for that Rayquaza, but of all the Pokemon to get it, it was Dylan on the Espeon, locking in the grand final spot here for Talon after what was an extremely dicey battle. Looking for sponsor, they were trying to gun for that Rayquaza, but for Talon, they understood the assignment. They were also focused on going for the steal themselves, and to be able to get it, they got the teamwork when they're looking for sponsor. And now they can sit pretty, relax, maybe have some dinner, get ready for the grand final, and wait as they see who their opponent is going to be. It could be looking for sponsor, but it could also be a different team. We really don't know. But as much as we want to say great stuff to Talon, I also want to give a big congratulations to looking for sponsor. This team has played fantastic, like especially up against Talon. They gave them a big run for their money, and I would not be surprised if we see a rematch in the grand final.
Oh yeah, we want that rematch for sure because they pushed Talon into the limits. Like, we've seen Kodan and Fibonacci go up against them, but it wasn't really the story that we wanted to see or Kodan and Fibonacci wanted to happen, simply because it was a one-sided match, 2-0. But right now, someone rises to the top up against Talon. Looking for sponsor is an interesting team that we have to look forward to later on. They're going to be sitting back into the lower bracket finals, but we'll see if they can climb back up because there is a lot of challenge that is about to happen on their team.
Oh my gosh, who better than to rise to the top than a team with wings? Birds, Talon, sitting on the throne, ready to claim that spot for the ACL finals, but they're not done as of yet. They do have the winner's advantage for the grand final. We'll have to see who their opponent is going to be. It could be a rematch against looking for sponsor, or it could be someone else. And we don't know who that someone else is yet because I don't believe we have an update yet for the brackets. I'm going to try and have a quick look and see if we know where they are. Oh, do you have it?
Okay, yeah, we have it. All right.
So what's the status update for the brackets?
Alright, so here we go. Kodan and Fibonacci actually took down Avicii EDM in 2-1, but Blacklist International and Team K